special guest here, Miss Shanette Prince. She's going to be talking about her endeavors that she's doing here in the community, and definitely her company, Africa on My Back. So welcome, Miss Prince. How's everything going?
It's going great.
Glad to have you here with Texas 101 Jams Under the Influence.
Under the influence, yes.
Straight like that.
Yes. Drink.
And we had to go ahead and put you in the mix. And today, guys, she's sipping a little bit of Hennessy White and pineapple juice. So we just want to make her feel right here at home here now. So we're just gonna get right into it. I've been seeing you all around the city, Africa on your back. You're doing well. I see all these different kids, older people with this backpack right here, Africa on My Back.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you get started with this brand? And we're going to start here and just tell us, how did you get started with your brand, Africa on My Back?
So we started, and when I say we, that's my sons and I. We started after my first trip to Ghana, which was July of 2016. Went over there with, tagged along with University of Houston, their African American Studies program.
Okay.
And stayed for 10 days and just kind of fell in love with the country. Went to... Where was my first trip? Oh, we went to Cape Coast and saw the slave dungeon.
Cape Coast?
Yeah, Cape Coast, which is a city in Ghana. And that's where a lot of the slaves were transported from. So they have a slave dungeon there. Toured that and saw that and smelled that. And really just felt at home when I got there.
I mean, I know that had to be an experience for these guys. I mean, you being a Black woman taking your boys to see something that they had never experienced before, and to cultivate them and give them that type of, just to let them see the world on a different note.
It was. So I went in July, and then I took my 15-year-old Isaiah. I took him with me in March. Okay. And so the trip for him was spring break, and I said, you need to make this pilgrimage back home. Like, you need to go and see. You need to be a part of this, because it really kind of changed me. I tell people, when I got back to the States, I knew who I was.
Got you.
When I got off the plane, we switched planes when I got to Denver before we came to Houston. And when I got off the plane and I had to walk through the airport, I just walked so differently. I could feel it. Like, my shoulders were up, my head was up. I was just, like, you couldn't tell me anything.
You felt different about having that experience, seeing something totally different in how people live there, opposed to how you move and shake in this environment. And you're like, really?
I saw the power, right? And I think that's one of the things that we miss here in the States, is to go to the continent, to go to West Africa, and you are the majority. You, the president, the police officers, everybody looks like you. All the engineers, everybody looks like you.
Looks like you.
Yeah, so to aspire to be something, the astronauts, everybody looks like you. So, yeah, of course you think you can do anything.
Right, of
Because
course.
you see other people who are doing just that.
Exactly.
And so I wanted him to see that. I wanted him to see the engineers. I wanted him to see the people who were taking tires and reusing them, making different things with them. I wanted him to see that because I didn't want him to have any excuse on not being great.
Exactly.
I wanted him to see, no, my skin color does not determine, like, my skin color is beautiful, and I'm thankful that I have it, and I come from a strong lineage of people who are still moving and shaking on a whole nother continent. Like, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. So what is your background as far as, just what is your background as far as just, what, in teaching, or what is that, journalism?
So I graduated from the Texas Southern University in communications, and then went on to Florida A&M University.
Okay.
And got my master's in broadcast journalism. So I worked in news for about 4 or 5 years. Okay. As a producer. And then...
How was that experience for you?
That was great. I enjoyed it. The hours were just definitely too long for me. And I was just, after seeing death and destruction all the time, you become a little cynical, and then after that you're like, oh, I need to do something else with my time.
And when what did you do that at? Was that here?
That was in Florida.
That was in Florida.
Yeah, that was in Tallahassee and Orlando. So I lived in Florida for 11 years. Switched from news into public relations communications. And then when I moved back to Houston 4.5 years ago, I was in fundraising and fund development for a charter school in town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
And now we've came to your own brand, which is Africa on My Back. And how have people been responding to just being able to relate and just what you've brought back with you here? Mm-hmm. How have people responded to the brand?
Oh, I mean, phenomenally. I was really surprised. I just kind of got back and said, hey, I have these backpacks and people, I want them. I started with 10 backpacks. Okay. And they went so quickly. And then after that, I was like, well, apparently, maybe I may be onto something. And I think once people, especially my online customers, once they get their package in the mail and they get they get a thank you note from me telling them about the business and they have a little bit more context about what we're trying to do.
Gotcha.
You know, I have a lot of repeat customers. Christmas, I did really well during the holiday season because people bought them for grandkids and cousins. Like it was a gift that you didn't have,
Gotcha.
and so people bought them and gave them to people for the holidays. And I think the more people understand that it's not just per se about a backpack. Like it's about a movement. It's about helping boys to see the brilliance and the talent that they have within them, and how can we move them forward. One of the things that I wanted to do was after I took my son in March, I said I want other boys to be able to have this opportunity.
Because I've been seeing you tag that brilliant black boys. What is that really all about?
So, I'm glad that you asked. So, I have two sons. One's 15 and one is 10. And working in a school environment and working in news, when you talk about black boys, it's always in a negative connotation. You know, they're at risk, they're on the verge of this, they're dropping out, they're unemployed. Like, it's always negative.
Right, exactly.
And I got tired of hearing that. And I'm a firm believer of what you say is what you produce, right? So if you want greatness, then that's what you have to put into your children.
No doubt.
And so I started calling my children brilliant black boys.
No doubt. I love that.
So anytime I refer to them on social media, it's me and the brilliant black boys, or the brilliant black boys are doing this. And I started to see people. That's
like really that. Strong. Yeah, it's very strong because it's really strong because what comes out of your mouth. Another thing I heard someone say when you say, oh, those boys are just bad. If you say, oh, they just bad kids. Kids start to believe that they bad, and it starts to go along with their confidence. Oh, I'm bad. Nobody else thinks this of me. But when you build a young man up and you say, hey, you know what? You're somebody. You're not just somebody. You're brilliant. Somebody that makes all the difference of what kind of confidence that they're going to walk around with in this world.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it makes you move a little differently. You know, for somebody to say, and it's something that we talk about often, you are a brilliant black boy.
Of course.
But you speak power into those kids.
Yeah. And the thing is, whatever you call them is what other people will call them.
Exactly.
So people who follow me on social media, when they meet them, it's, oh, these are the brilliant black boys.
The brilliant black boys.
You know? Right. Yes, these are the brilliant black boys. That's right. That's them. Yeah.
I also see that we have something big coming out this weekend, which is the Black Panther. And I see that you are doing something that is very special in a very positive way. You're taking 200 and how many something boys to see this?
245.
Wow.
Brilliant black boys going to see Black Panther on Thursday.
Man, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's very phenomenal.
Thank you.
So how did that come about? I mean, how did that come about?
So Africa on My Back is a social enterprise.
Okay.
And so we are a social enterprise. We help people who want to connect to African culture do so by purchasing fair trade backpacks, but also by providing study abroad opportunities for brilliant black boys, and helping small businesses in Ghana. So how do we do that, right? We help them because we are buying their goods and products.
Of course.
And we're allowing them to grow their businesses, right? So the proceeds, what we do is 10% of our gross income. We then put those proceeds towards, the big goal is to be able to send 10 to 15 boys every summer to Ghana to do an international study abroad trip.
Wow.
We just got started.
Wow.
So haven't quite amassed that kind of capital
But you're
yet.
definitely on your way.
Yes, definitely on the way.
You're putting that work in, you know.
Definitely on the way. And so when I knew that Black Panther was coming, I was like, okay, I can't take boys to Ghana this year. Or maybe we could have sent maybe one or two. But
Right,
I
of
want to
course.
take a group. And so I said, well, what can we do? I can take boys to the movie theater. You know, they get to see a little bit about a fictional African country.
Exactly.
But no less, they see the power that the continent holds. And they see a superhero that looks like them. And
Exactly.
I think that that's important. And they're in an environment with 240 other boys who look like them, who are probably going to come dressed the same way.
Exactly.
So they get to experience that together.
And that speaks volumes. Speaks very much in volumes. And the fact that you're taking that many boys out to even see just a groundbreaking movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a very phenomenal weekend because a lot of, of course, we've all Superman, Batman, we've all saw these, and we fell in love with these characters, but we've never had a chance to fall in love with a character that we
Looks
can
like
relate
us.
to,
Yeah.
that looks like us, talks like us, walk like us. So this gives us a chance to kind of stick our chest out a little bit and pump our chest up and say, hey, listen, he got some superpowers.
Right. And then, I mean, not only does Black Panther have it, but his sister is super duper smart. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? The Dora Milaje, who are his bodyguards, are like off the chain. You know, so not only do the boys get to see themselves in the superhero, they also are able to see how Black women uplift and support them. You know,
Exactly.
how Black women are there to be a support. And how when we work together, then we can do anything.
Right.
We can conquer anything.
Exactly.
And so I think it's going to be really interesting. Like
It's showing a strong family,
It does.
strong family background to that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think, and the movie has already made how much money? It's
A
already
lot.
made.
I don't know.
Yeah, a
know, and I know
A
it's already
lot.
made over $10 million
Ooh.
already.
On
Already.
pre-sales.
It didn't come out yet.
On
And
pre-sales.
that's the purchasing power of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
When we all can throw our money into the pot and actually support something, it shows you how we can actually do something without overthinking it too much.
Let me tell you, Black people can do anything they put their mind to. I'm telling you, when I went to Ghana, I saw firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came back
You know what I'm
empowered,
saying?
motivated, strong.
I said, I went over there and the small businesses that they have. First of all, everybody is a business owner. You know, you have people who are selling things on the streets,
Right.
goods, just all types of products, from gum to belts and cell phones, just everything.
Everything,
right? Almost
of
kind of
course.
like a little bit of New York. Then the small businesses who actually like have storefronts, it's not like storefronts how we have where you have a strip mall. No, you have a container, and you kind of converted that container into a small business.
Oh,
you
wow.
have electricity in there. I mean,
In the
like,
container.
In the container.
Shut up.
In the container. The place where I got my hair done was a container, and they
Really?
had. I'm not. When I say they, I don't know if there was running water in there. I don't think there was running water. So they had buckets of water. But I think my hair had not been that clean
In a while.
in a long time. And they braided my hair. Like, my son is like, I need to go back and get my hair braided.
Okay.
I know we have to find somebody here locally that can do that. But the resources that they have, they use them.
Right.
And that.
So you can definitely say that we're spoiled by all means.
Oh yeah, over here. And that is like, that was the driving force behind Africa on My Back. Like, if our sisters and brothers in Ghana can do this with half
Of the
half
resources.
of the resources that we have,
Exactly.
there is no reason why we can't do what we need to do over here.
So this is still on track but off track. What do you think the problem becomes over here in this society, of why we can't duplicate that same thing from there to here? What is your view on that? Why do you think that?
I think it's coming. Like, I think there is the potential. I think some people are, collectively getting together and doing some things. I know that Diddy had said that he wanted to buy the what is the football establishment? I can't remember the team that he wanted to buy.
That's gonna be hard to do, but I got him though.
Yeah,
because it's a good old boy system, and they're not really gonna let you into that system because that's a whole other type of game.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to just say let's do that is,
it's promising.
It's promising.
Then Jay-Z has Tidal now. So I think people are moving. It's slowly progressing. It's slowly coming around. But
do you think more leaders need to step up?
I don't know if it's a leader thing, right? I think that there are just people who need to take personal responsibility and do what you can do. Right? I think we kind of get off track when we start talking about leaders. Right. Because everybody is a leader in their own right. Right?
No doubt.
So you don't need somebody to tell you that you need to do X, Y, and Z. You already know this. Right. That's one of the things I think maybe the biggest problem in our communities is we do a whole lot of talking and not a lot of action because we're waiting on a leader.
Wow. What you say?
We're waiting on permission. We're waiting on somebody to say, hey, are we taking sips now? Okay.
Yeah, we're taking sips. Listen, we're gonna do this a toast. We're gonna do a toast to Africa on my back. We're gonna do a toast to you just being a remarkable black citizen here in this country, a young woman doing things, and I congratulate you not just as a business owner and raising two young black brilliant boys, but just being out there on the forefront and trying to make a difference in the community. That's what it's really all about.
Especially with black boys.
And taking
awesome.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it starts with you. It's a foundation.
Yeah.
And it has to become, because the schools are not going to always teach that. It starts with, and not everybody has the same foundation, so sometimes it comes outwardly. They might have to get it from somewhere else, but it starts at home.
Yeah. I mean, it does. I think when I was growing up in the 80s, you had the schools, you had the homes, and you had the churches.
You did.
And so
you sure did. Get on up in here. Listen, Miss Carter said that don't come in here telling no lie. Miss Carter said you do this at school, but mama behind nothing. Get on up
and
in
it
there.
took a village.
Yeah. And we had
the village is gone.
We had it, and it's like, how do we bring that back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How do you bring that back? And there are some organizations that are doing some great, phenomenal work. Some of the organizations.
So do you do a lot? Do you do a lot of community service work here in the city? At any particular places that you like to go and donate your time to?
So I have. When I was at Texas Southern, my first son, I was a sophomore when I had him. And so I was fortunate enough to stay at Project Row Houses. They have a young mother's residential program. And so I lived there my sophomore and junior year, and then my senior year moved out. But phenomenal place. I think it kind of flies under the radar a lot of the times, but it's an arts organization to preserve African American art. It's in Third Ward.
Gotcha.
It's been there for over 25 years. And they're doing great work. And so that organization is near and dear to my heart. Then there's the Emancipation Economic Development Council that I love.
Gotcha.
So what they are trying to do is revitalize the community and to halt gentrification in Northern Third Ward.
And that's a great thing. Much needed.
It is. And it's how do we collectively come together to preserve our communities, our homes, our schools, and our churches. And everybody has a part to do. You know what I'm saying? And so those are just two organizations that I, hold in high regard and work with and support. And so, for your listeners who don't know about them, definitely check out their websites.
Done deal.
Yeah. It's black led. The staff members are black. They live in the community. They know the community. And so I think those types of organizations are what we need. We need community-led organizations to make sure that the community gets what the community wants. It's been so interesting to me, even planning this Black Panther screening, I've had to lean heavily on my son, right? It's like, hey, like I'm doing this screening because I want you guys to be there and to see the movie.
Of course.
And some of the programs, the programmatic stuff that I was putting in place, he was like, Mama, we don't want to hear that. I was like, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. Nobody's going to. And I said, you know what? If I'm truly doing it for them, then I have to put it in a format that they like and that they can understand.
So, question: what legacy, as a young black woman, do you want to leave behind? What legacy is that you want to leave behind? What legacy that you're starting, and what legacy is it that you want to leave behind? So people can say, I know this woman. Mm-hmm. I see what she did in the community. I see what she did. She built for her boys. So what legacy is that for you? And as you move forward, what legacy is that?
Legacy? I want for my sons to be able. I want them to know wholeheartedly that they can do anything that they want to do. That they can be whomever they choose to be. And I want that to permeate our household, their friends, my friends, our community. Is that anything and everything that we need to do whatever it is that we want to do it's already within us, right?
Gotcha.
Like we are the ones that we have been waiting for. So the leader that we're looking for, we are that person.
It's within.
It's within. And so
bam.
That's what I want to be able to leave. It's like you don't have to wait on anybody. Inspire yourself.
Just like that.
Inspire yourself. Do you whatever. And when I was growing up, people used to say you can do whatever you want to do.
Of course.
I believed that. Like I really believe that.
Oh, this Laylo, she said this sister is awesome, and she's doing it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
so where can people find, so how can people get in contact with you to get some of these lovely bags? How can they just connect with you as far as your company and who you are?
So we are online, www.africaonmyback.com, across all social media platforms. We're Africa on My Back. My personal Instagram and Facebook is Shanette Prince. But if you're looking for us, it's Africa on My Back.
Done deal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So guys, we are in the studio with hold on for a second. This is family. It was a pleasure to bring her in here today to talk about some awesome stuff, and she's doing an awesome thing by bringing these 240 brilliant black kids out to see Black Panther. Definitely look out for her. She's on the rise, and she's definitely someone in the black community that's doing her thing, and I'm very proud of her, no doubt.
Thank you. If I can say one last thing.
And baby, say whatever you want to say.
I want to shout out Kim Roxy from Lamique Beauty.
Okay.
Who is here in Houston, trailblazer, doing big things. So Kim just actually came back from Johannesburg, South Africa.
That's what's up.
Not too long ago. She'll be releasing, some things soon. And when she got back, she did a segment on Great Day Houston, and it'll air tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Where she was talking about red carpet looks for Black Panther. She's into beauty and makeup and all of that, and so she said, "Hey, would you like to model?" I was like,
"Wait a minute, and you gonna
especially
be on
about
the
Black Panther?"
Yeah.
And so she partnered with us on that, and so I'm very grateful. To Kim. She's so down to earth and such a lovely woman. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, like, I want you to come on. She did a shout out on Great Day Houston, and I was like, yeah.
So that's going to be on that's
tomorrow. Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Kim is going to be at the screening as well.
Okay.
So we have some few people coming out.
That's what's up.
So I'm really excited.
I'm excited for you and have you in Texas 101 Jams, Under the Influence, and everything. Listen, shout outs to you and all your endeavors and everything that you do, and keep being great.
Thank you.
Indeed. So how is that tea that you're sipping over? That's